Hi everybody, it's Anwanani. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to Reality Bars TV. Do make sure that you are subscribed and also do like the video. And you guys listen, make sure you watch an advert or two. There's also a thanks button if you want to give money to the channel so that we can make up for that week that we missed out on our revenue on this channel, you guys. Listen, I realize that I might be back to health, okay, but because I'm taking some meds, my energy is still low, okay, so I don't have that energy to do the live yet. So I'm just going to do the full review, as a video. And even that, you guys, I'll do part 1 and part 2 for episode 14, and then I'll do the same for episode 15, you guys, because I don't have the energy for like that long video. It's just one video. Okay, we will get back to normal. Okay, but I am well, you guys. It is so strange to wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, no headache. Okay. Even though the medication is making me feel like like, but it's so nice, you guys, to wake up and I don't have a headache. Okay, so I think my body is just getting used to the medication that I'm on. Eventually we will get back to normal, you guys. So listen, let's do the first part of episode 14, you guys. My favorite scene on this episode was Makhumalo and Mseleku scene, hands down. Okay, I was like, is Makhumalo finally growing up? Okay. Where are Makhumalo fans? Because I was like, I like this scene, you guys. Okay, I like this scene that Makhumalo shot with Mseleku when they were talking about umsebenzi. But we will get to it, you guys, because I do want to start with that aftercare situation that Mseleku was talking about, lying. Okay. And because I just didn't understand why he was talking about something that Macele didn't say, but he is saying it to his wives. I want to say this, you guys. Mseleku is not well. I did say in one of my videos that I do feel that they should have taken more time to just take care of him, give him more time to heal. Okay? Which at the same time doesn't make sense for me to say, because this is a reality show, and if a cast member is sick, then they should reflect that on a reality show. But the problem is that they are not showing us the process of him, being nursed back to health. I would have understood if at the time, like when they said the situation went from bad to worse, they showed us that whole drama of him moving from, the bad situation to the worst situation. And even if they didn't shoot at the hospital, but when he was coming home, because apparently he did come home, and obviously the wives had to nurse him back to health. Okay, if they showed us that process. But it's almost like they didn't show it's not almost like it, they didn't show us that process, okay, of them nursing him to health, and then they just showed us him almost like expecting us to believe Uguti he's back to health, but you can see Uguti he is weak. His speech is not back to normal. Even physically, he's walking funny. You can see he's weak, but they are expecting him to shoot normal scenes that he would shoot if he was healthy. So it just looks bad, you guys. It looks bad. Like, why are they making this man work when he should be on sick leave? It looks that way. It looks like if last week I was forced to go to the office and work from 8 o'clock to 4:30 when I had a migraine the whole time. Okay, so Mseleku is not well. It's uncomfortable to watch him at work when he's not well. I don't understand it. Okay, if it was my husband, I just wouldn't understand. I just wouldn't want it to happen. I wouldn't want to shoot a scene with my husband being sick and pretend that he is well enough to work. So that part is uncomfortable for me to watch, you guys. And also just the fact that his speech now is also starting to not make sense. My sentences are not making sense, and it's uncomfortable to watch. Another thing, you guys, is have the lobolo, the cows, been paid or not? Have they paid amalobolo or not? Because that episode, when they were watching the episode on at the dinner table, Mseleku said he paid lobolo, but Umakwela is still going to be introduced to the family Yaga Mseleku, and Makhumalo is talking about Umakwela not being welcomed Kamseleku because she's not yet a wife. They need to clarify that, okay? They need to do it in the next episode or something. Ilobolo kokiwe or not now? Did they lie at the table or not? Because it's not making sense for us now for them to say Gutu Makwela is not a wife yet, but at some point they were saying that Lobolo has already been paid. They need to clarify that situation for us. Otherwise, the season is not making a lot of sense for us, because we are thinking she's a wife, but then she's not a wife, and then she's a wife, and then she's not a wife. It's not making a lot of sense. So you guys, listen. Now, they did show us a little bit of the conversation Gamacele Mseleku about the aftercare situation, and they basically confirmed what I was saying in my other video, that Umacele's complaint about the aftercare was not about the other wives thanking her. No, Macele's complaint was about the money. You know, you need to consider the financial implications of me keeping the kids for the aftercare. You know, she was basically requesting for more money, budget, okay? You need to add on the budgets, okay? The budgetary requirements for the aftercare for the kids being at my house, that is what I need. Mseleku goes to the other wives and tell them something different. Guys, there is an agreement here between Mayeni and Ma Ngwabe when it comes to Macele. One thing they agreed on is that Macele is moody. So it's like, even if they wanted to say thank you to her every evening when they go and fetch the kids, it's impossible, because most of the time she is just moody, you know. So they say that the reason they will stand there by the gates and hoot for the kids to go get in the car and they go is because sometimes if you're going to go to the house and greet her and say ngiyabonga Macele every day, sometimes you get there and she's not in the mood, you know. And I understand Macele. I'm the person that would prefer for them to hoot at the gates, you know, because I wouldn't be able to cope with that situation where every single day you're coming in the house just to say, oh my God, thank you so much, you know. I would just like prefer for you to guess go to yabonga who take 18 and in. So Umayeni Noma Ngwabe said the same thing. What Macele is moody, so it wouldn't work for them to expect to go to every day. They would go to the house and say thank you. So they prefer to just give her space, because she's like a weather honey. Okay, today tomorrow liyanetha, the other day libalele kumacele. They also agreed that their understanding was that when it comes to the kids, all of the kids are their kids, okay? Umayeni said when the kids were younger, they used to visit her house all the time. She would not be told that the kids are coming. She would not be told the kids are being picked up. She would be expected to take care of the kids and navigate singane awashimicham, okay? I don't know. I don't know if mchamo was necessary to mention, okay? Awashimicham and all of that. And Mayeni's point was, I was never thanked for that. Nobody ever thanked me at that time when I was doing it. So in earlier days, Mayeni says that she did the same thing. Nobody thanked her. Nobody asked her, number one. Nobody would ask her, should we bring the kids? She would just see the bags and, you know, the kids walking in. She would take care of the kids. She said, I did it back then. Nobody thanked me. Nobody acknowledged me back then. So now she's doing it now. What's the problem? And then she says something, Umayeni, to say, at Park, that is their home, you know. So what is the issue? And I remember, you guys, back in the day, remember that scene when uma yeni no Macele were coming for Makhumalo, because Makhumalo had said to Mpumelelo, you remember the scene Mese, and Mpumelelo was looking for the knives and asked Makhumalo for the knives, and Makhumalo said, Hambo tata imi masekini, and Umayeni no Macele had a problem with the fact that Makhumalo had said to Mpumelelo, go get them from your house, you know, and they were saying, no, all of the houses, ikubo, you know. So Mayen was saying the same thing with even Sipak, that is their father's house, you know. So why should it now be now they must say thank you for them staying at that house, because ikubo now but at that house. Now why should it be a big deal because the kids are staying there, you know, after for the aftercare? So Mayen was like, okay, they must just say, if it is a problem now for the kids to stay at Magdalene's house for the aftercare, they must just say that instead of coming up with an excuse, because at Park it is their home, you know. Plus, Magdalene is very moody for them to be expecting them to be saying thank you every evening when they're being picked up. And that whole thing doesn't make sense, because both they've done the same as the wives taking care of Magdalene's kids, especially when the kids were younger, okay? So I guess Mayen doesn't believe it's the issues of saying thank you and all of that, okay? But we must remember, you guys, that Mseleku is not giving them the information that was, that information is not from Macele. That's not what Macele was requesting anyways. Macele was just requesting for money. Unless that whole thing of Macele saying she would like for them to say thank you was edited out, okay? But then we can blame it on the edit, but from what they gave us on the episode, that's not what Macele said, okay? So Mseleku is just causing conflict for no reason. If it's him who's causing the conflict, if it's the editors are just causing conflicts because they are leaving us confused as to why they are talking about this issue that Macele didn't raise, okay? Now, you guys, here is the thing. Makhumalo no Mayeni, not Mayeni. What am I saying? Okay. Makhumalo no Mseleku also have a sit down after Mseleku no Mayeni have a sit down, because Mayeni was like, abangeke mina ngendaba yengane, abangitshele if they don't want my kids to go to CPAC, and that's it. If there's another reason, they must tell me, okay? Then you guys, Makhumalo no Mseleku now, they're having a sit down now, because Mseleku wants to talk to Makhumalo about Umsebenzi. Remember, Mseleku wants to do Umsebenzi. Number one, at first it was supposed to be a 50th birthday party, and then it moved to him wanting to say thank you to Gogo Flo, and then it moved to now him wanting to introduce number 5. Okay, now he wants to do all of this as one Umsebenzi at the same time. Okay, now he's having a sit down with Makhumalo, because he says that he wants to Makhumalo to help him plan the event. Okay, so he goes to Makhumalo's house. By the way, Makhumalo's house always looks different every time. I think she's constantly renovating her house and changing the furniture and all of that, because I felt like her dining room looks different and it looks cute, you guys. It looks really beautiful. Anyway, so she gets to Makhumalo's house from Kamayeni, and so now they are talking about indaba yomsebenzi. He gets there and requests to go. For some reason, you guys, I feel like the two houses where he's always offered food is is Kamacele na Makhumalo. And it's not too often that he's offered food Kamayeni and Kamangwabi. But this time I think Kamangwabi did offer him something. But definitely Makhumalo akaphuma ngadlanga shame. So Makhumalo said, because when he walked in, I think he mentioned he would like something to eat, so menzelo fishy or something, fish and salad or something, because Makhumalo said she expected to go to Dlile Kamayeni, but I don't know akadlanga Kamayeni, because obviously they had that heated discussion about the aftercare situation. So then, you guys, Mseleku introduces the idea he is thinking of doing umsebenzi ufuna kuza abantu bakaduma. At first I was like, abantu bakaduma, who are those? And then I realized, oh yes, abantu baka Duma, abantu baka Mseleku. So the Mselekus are the Dumas, you know. Remember, most of us have been asking ourselves, what's happening with Mseleku? Doesn't he have a family? So apparently abantu baka Duma baka Mseleku. So it's the Mseleku family that is coming, and ufuna ukwenza umsebenzi, and also wants to do umsebenzi to say thank you to Gogo Flo because he almost lost his life, whatever. So initially Makhumalo was like, okay, she did not think it's the right time to do the umsebenzi, but you know, they say go to umsebenzi, once you say you need to do it, you must do it. You can't, you shouldn't postpone it. Once you say it, you must do it. Now he wants Makhumalo to help him with catering. Now remember, you guys, the very first conflict we saw Mseleku between the wives was about this sebenzi that Mseleku had, and Makhumalo had been asked to take care of catering, and Makhumalo had hired one of her friends to do catering, and it was a big thing that Makhumalo had hired the person that she had hired, and there was like a big Makhumalo is acting like she's the only Mseleku wife, whatever. It was a big fight, okay? And yes, so it looked like deja vu, okay? So Makhumalo was like, what are you trying to do to me, okay? So now she was like, have you explained to your other wives though, because I don't want to find myself in the same situation papa futhi like it has happened before, because we are futhi, okay? Now he goes on to explain now, where to say now over and above, because Makhumalo was asking, okay, so this is not like two events, because you have abantu baka Duma, which is your family, and also you are saying thank you to Gogo Flo. That's the same thing. Those people will be eating the same food, right? And he says, yeah, but also I'll be introducing my number 5. He makes sure to say, oh, number 5 wam. When you think Nesthembu is ridiculous, it gets more ridiculous, okay? I'll be introducing number 5 wam, okay? I think it's when introduce number 5 wam. I'm like, yeah. And then Makhumalo is like, Konala, in the same msebenzi, you'll be introducing your number 5. So Makhumalo didn't agree with that. Now, here's Makhumalo's question. Makhumalo was like, okay, you have wives here that have said they don't want to have anything to do with the introduction guy number 5. You have Mayeni who said that she doesn't want to have anything to do with number 5. You have Mangwabe. You are doing the family umsebenzi in the family Mzumbe. You have 2 wives that said they don't want to have anything to do with number 5. How are you going to introduce number 5 to them in the same umsebenzi where you are bringing family? They are supposed to be there. You're bringing them. You're bringing number 5. Is it necessary to introduce number 5 in the same umsebenzi? You know? And Mseleku is like, yeah, I mean, what am I going to do? That means that they can come, and then mustn't introduce number 5, they can leave. Makhumalo, how are you going to do that? How are you going to kick your wives from their own home because you want to introduce basically your girlfriend? Well, Makhumalo didn't say that, but that's what she was saying. Which is exactly what I'm saying. They need to clarify the Lobolo situation, because we thought Umakwela is already a wife. Because Umakwela said that the other episode, that's the reason she met Umakwela at the restaurant, because Umakwela is already a wife. That's the reason Makhumalo went to the hospital, because Makhumalo is already a wife. So now Makhumalo is sitting here saying, no. You can't be kicking your wives out of a function because of your girlfriend. Makhumalo is not a wife yet. So you can't be bringing her Mzumbe because she's not allowed to come here. Even us, we were not allowed to attend certain functions when we were girlfriends. But why is she allowed? If you want to do that, you can do that over there, because she's allowed to go, because I have seen her, she even said that to Makhumalo, one time I went to Gamacele, so she's allowed to go Gamacele. Why wouldn't you do that there? But here, umuzi wethu lona, this is our home, only the wives are allowed here. Mseleku was like, no. He even makes an example, Mseleku, ukuthi he wants to introduce number 5. He does not want to do what he did with Makhumalo. He says that with Makhumalo, he was advised to hide Makhumalo by some people. Okay, I was wondering who those people were. He said he was advised to hide Makhumalo to a point where he was advised that even if Makhumalo falls pregnant, in fact, he put it like this, that Makhumalo must not fall pregnant. So, to a point where Makhumalo reached a point where she couldn't get pregnant. How I understood that was that there are possibilities that Makhumalo might have actually fallen pregnant. But because they were supposed to hide her, they had to do something about the pregnancies. And that might have led to Makhumalo not being able to fall pregnant. I felt like it's actually a submission by, not submission, an admission by Mseleku that Makhumalo might have fallen pregnant in her younger, while she was hidden. But because she was hidden, they might have needed to do something about those pregnancies. And because they might have needed to do something about those pregnancies, that might have resulted in her not being able to fall pregnant later on. And he does not want to do that with Umakhwela. Niyangiz ukuthi ngithini? Yes. Angithi ingoba nikho ku membership. Ukuba nikhona ku membership ngabe niyahlanganisa naso nalesiyana silapha ku membership. So basically uconfirm lento kade sisibuka ukuthi yabo. So uthi basically uthi Umakhwela must be introduced as soon as possible so that she can fall pregnant as soon as possible, so that they don't have to deal with this issue of a pregnancy the way that they had to deal with it with Makhumalo. You understand? But till Makhumalo put her foot down, she was like, no. This one, even us, she said, even us, we had to wait for Umakhwela to get comfortable with the idea of us being your fiancés before you introduced us. Why can't she wait, Umakhwela, until laba nabo babe comfortable? I like that with Makhumalo, you guys. I like that. She took a stand because Makhumalo, she said she doesn't care about number 5. Number 5 years, number 5 years, and she said that. She could have said, bring number 5 work. But I did like the fact that she was like, because Makhumalo doesn't necessarily like Umayeni. And with Umangwabe, she can say she likes Umangwabe, but even that friendship is questionable. But I did like the fact that she spoke for the collective to say, as a collective, asikakavumi sonke ukuthi we are accepting indaba kaMakhwela. So as a collective, if usingakabi sonke comfortable with the bringing in of Umakhwela, how are you going to do umsebenzi emzini wethu as a collective and bring in Umakhwela when there are 2 people in collective that are not comfortable with that idea? How are you going to do that? And if you do it that way, I'm not going to help you with that. Separate the 2 events. Do umsebenzi, have your wives there, and then do another one where you introduce your number 5. Mseleku was very disappointed. In fact, you guys, he even said, these days angisamqondo Makhumalo. These days angisamqondo Makhumalo. That's why I said, you guys, in one post that I did in my community post, that I feel like Makhumalo is going to be the next villain on Uthando Nesthembu. Just like Umangwabe was targeted by Mseleku to be presented as the villain on Uthando Nesthembu because Umangwabe was speaking up. Now it's Mayeni. I think Makhumalo, if Eqhubeka speaking up for herself and speaking up for the other wives, she will be the next target. Because Mseleku doesn't like it. Mseleku wants a yebo baba. That's why abantu always say that Makhumalo is the favorite, because she's always been a yebo baba. Now that she's starting to speak up and she's starting to question things and she's starting to say, no, baba, I don't agree with you. That's not the right way to do it. You can't treat your wives that way. She will be the next villain. If she doesn't go back to that corner where she's like, yeah, baba, whatever you need, whatever you want, then she will be the next villain. Ask me, because Mseleku is starting to make those comments about Makhumalo some understand. I don't even know anymore if I can use Makhumalo. He is starting to make those comments, which he never used to do before, But now he is doing it because why? Makhumalo is no longer a yebo baba. Anyway, you guys, let me end here with part 1 of this episode. We will meet in a part 2. Please do make sure that you like this video before you share it with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers. Nesthembu.